Malcolm, let's talk about retirement issues for the younger generation. You said earlier that you're concerned about the younger generation and how they'll be able to save for retirement. I wonder if you can elaborate on that.
Well, when we look at young Canadians today, they're doing everything later than my generation did. They typically graduate school later, they marry later, they have children later, they buy their house later, they take a longer amortization on their home purchase. Whereas for many of the people in my generation, by the mid-40s, our child raising expenses were largely behind us. Our debts were shrinking or gone. We could then focus on retirement savings in our 40s and 50s. It's very hard to imagine that that's going to happen for today's younger Canadians. So I just think everything is going to happen later for them, through to saving for retirement, through to retiring, and they'll probably live longer. So it's just different.
So, but you know, if they're doing their prime retirement savings and later on in life, they may retire later, they may stay longer in the workforce too. So that would tend to neutralize things, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any real problem there as long as they set their expectations accordingly. When you look at the retirement age expectations of young people, it doesn't seem to be moving along like all the other things.
Right.
So we don't see, in fact, there was a survey just recently that said the worst retirement fear of younger Canadians was that they were going to have to work to 75, where in fact, in many ways, they're putting themselves on a trajectory that ends there. To
do just that. Now, in closing, I want to ask you about one last thing, and that is debt. Debt is epidemic in this country. Younger people are mired in it, from student debts and debts as they try to start their lives as adults with mortgages and cars. How seriously does that impact on their retirement outlook?
Well, very seriously, because it's hard to make the case for saving heavily for retirement until you've put your debts behind you. And if you have a mountain of debt at low interest rates, it's conceivable you can put the debts behind you because of the low interest rates. But the minute interest rates go up, you're just stuck. I mean, the cost of carrying that debt will go up, it'll crowd out everything else, and it'll delay every plan you've got by a decade. So I think people better be really careful with their borrowing.
All right, so here's another impact of high debt. It hurts your retirement savings. Thanks, Malcolm.
Okay.